In part two of our discussion on Lesotho, Trade and Industry Minister Joshua Setipa discussed with U.S. officials concerns over a lack of rule of law and allegations of violations of human rights in his country. A native of Lesotho, journalist and Mandela Washington Fellow Billy Ntaote spoke with Mr. Setipa about the progress made by Lesotho in implementing of constitutional and security reform.
We have been consulting and reaching out to a broad spectrum of stakeholders here in the U.S. We started with the administration, as I pointed out. We spent a big part of the week on Capitol Hill talking to leadership both in Congress and in the Senate. We also went to the Department of Labor. We went to other stakeholders. And our message to them is that as partners, we've listened, we've heard the concerns that the U.S. had raised. We came to this week to report to them the progress we've made. We had, among the things that we had undertaken to do, or that was recommended to us as government, was initiate a broad range of reforms, constitutional reforms, security sector reforms, and implement the letter and spirit, the recommendations of the SADC Commission of Inquiry that was undertaken, that undertook its work in Lesotho last year. We came to report to them the progress we've made in that regard, and it has been significant report. We've launched the security sector reforms, we've launched the constitutional reform process. In fact, in a few days' time, we will be presenting to the SADC Summit a roadmap that we have drawn up together with our SADC partners under the leadership of the SADC facilitator, His Excellency the Deputy President of South Africa.
How has your response or your submission to the stakeholders here being accepted, and was the mood like, especially now that your country's eligibility is under review?
The issues are very difficult issues. They are very serious and sensitive issues, and the discussions we held were very frank. They were not couched in any diplomatic niceties to try and cushion where concerns where they were raised. Where we had difficulties, we also expressed those difficulties. But at the end of the day, we walked out of those discussions with one commitment, and that commitment was the U.S. is Lesotho's partner, and the U.S. will continue to play a very active role in helping Lesotho ensure that the reforms that we've initiated, not only are they sustainable, but they actually bring about effective improvement in and improve governance in Lesotho. These reforms are going to, amongst the other things, they are aimed at strengthening that civilian oversight and ensuring that the military, like in any other democracy, is answerable to a civilian government, and it is under the effective control of the civilian government. And that is what these reforms will bring, and that is the objective of the security sector reforms.